Hey guys, it's your boy Jay and this is Football Talk, and in this one I am back with another reaction video. In this I will be reacting to Madden 25 5 things you won't work anymore. This right here is probably going to be one of the best videos to watch because people are going to try to do the exact same thing. And then they're going to complain that the game feels like every year when you only play one mode. You know, I'm just saying, like, it's you can't say a game, you can't say Madden and stuff like that is the same every year when you only play online. Just saying, you know what I mean? Just saying. But I cannot wait to see what are the things that you cannot do. And I know some people are going to be upset that you can't do these certain things, but hey, you just gotta get better at the game. That's all. Just get better at the game. You know, do something different. You don't have to do the exact same thing that you have done every single year. So I'm saying. But without further ado, though, let's jump right into this.
When
All right, let's
Madden
go.
25 releases in a couple weeks, you might be surprised that some popular tactics from last year and previous years simply will not work anymore. That's because every year EA tries to attack what they call the meta, the things that are the most popular and the most effective. They try to neutralize,
which is a good thing in my opinion.
If you're very reliant on these 5 things I'm about to go over, you may want to get yourself prepared because they're not going to work quite the same anymore. Number 1, overpowered abilities. Now every year,
Okay.
certain overpowered
So the X factors.
next year they get neutralized. Well, this year there's quite a few abilities that are just not going to work quite the same as they have last year or the year before. The main one being the knockout abilities. These have been the meta for about 2 years now. These are put on cornerbacks.
I'm trying to remember the knockout.
They will react really good to passes and they will knock them out very
Oh, I've seen a lot of people do this.
Abilities are now far less likely to force knockouts late in a catch or after a catch has already been secured. So
I like that. That's a good change right there.
To be as useful as they used to be.
Hold them to their grave!
Other abilities that have been limited are things like Secure Protector for your offensive line. This no longer guarantees to counteract pass rushing abilities. So now the pass rushing abilities are going to outweigh the pass protector abilities, so that's something to keep in mind. Run stuffing abilities like inside stuff and no outsiders will no longer...
But I did hear that offensive line though is improved.
So before you could pass commit your defense, but if you still had those run stopping abilities, they would still engage. That'll no longer happen. And maybe the biggest one of all are the velocity abilities like set feet lead and pass lead elite. These will now have a reduced pass velocity bonus, meaning they still will give you a little bit of a boost, but not quite as much as they did in the past, and that really can change the dynamic of the entire game. Really quickly, before we move on to the rest of the list, I do want to mention that we are still sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. If you like sports and you
Shout out to Underdog,
you gotta be on Underdog Fantasy playing their pick'em game. Basically, all you have to do is pick higher or lower on a wide variety of player stats, and if they hit, you can win.
I normally skip this. I ain't gonna skip this time. I'm gonna let it play.
They're gonna give you up to 200.
Let me know if y'all like the
free play at sign up, like a Caitlin
the reaction,
or a
this new reaction thing.
Base appearance, or during football season.
Just trying it out on a couple of videos.
Basically, a free play that's gonna help you win no matter what. And with football season coming up, there's going to be a ton of great specials coming up as college and NFL is about to start. So make sure to sign up using code RAY to claim those bonuses. Number 2, the overpowered juke move. Now, if you played Madden,
juke move.
The best move in the game was the basic juke. You would let off the sprint button,
100%.
you would fake out the defense pretty much every time.
And it was so good.
Could have the skill to stop this, and it did create a bit of a skill gap, but it was definitely pretty unrealistic just how consistent it was. Now, I'm definitely not saying that you won't be able to successfully juke in this game. You definitely will, and when I was able to play it early, you could still fake people out with jukes, but it was nothing like it was in 24. It was not nearly as easy, not nearly as guaranteed.
Damn, that was my go-to move. Juke move.
Just know going into Madden 25,
if you're new to my channel, hey, that's pretty much all I spam.
Subscribe, you might as well go ahead subscribe, turn the bell icon on.
Okay, so juke move is not going to be overpowered like it has been years past.
That you're not going to want to miss out on. And I'll be giving away copies soon to subscribers as well.
I gotta get my stick movement up there then.
Relying on zig routes. Now let me explain here, because zig routes are still a phenomenal route. They do a great job versus man coverage.
Oh my goodness, this was one of my go-tos on like third down.
The route itself is still phenomenal. The issue here is you can't rely on it quite as much because the hot route wheel has changed in Madden. A lot of people like to not necessarily build their offense around zig routes, but zig routes are a very important part of their offense.
It was a lot of people that did do that.
Of their plays, they like to have them as a check down or a quick hot read.
I didn't abuse the zig route, but like in crucial situations, I'm definitely pulling that out.
And it creates decent separation. But with them updating the hot route wheel this year, everything has changed. They've now added post routes and corner routes to the hot route wheel, but in order to do that, they removed a couple routes, and one of them was the zig. So now in order to get the zig hot route, you actually have to have a QB with hot route master, or you have to have a wide receiver that has
what
that gets him extra hot routes. So if you're using a team like that, so for example, the Chiefs would be able to do this, then you can still use it. But the majority of the teams,
I gotta know which teams can do it and which teams can't.
You will not be able to hot route them anymore, which I honestly don't like. I wish that they would kind of take the system that college football has, where every QB has 12 hot routes. I feel like that's the best way to go, but they didn't.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I can see that.
Spamming hit stick. Now, one of the biggest.
Wait a minute. Before he gets into this, let me full screen it. Let me full screen it. Thank you, Madden. People that play Madden on the daily do not know how to tackle without the hit stick. They just don't. I don't like the hit stick works sometimes, but you can't spam the hit stick every single time to tackle. And then when they don't tackle like you think they're supposed to every time, then you throw controllers at it and then you say the game is trash. Stop spamming the hit stick, damn it. Learn how to tackle. Shit. This is one of the things that piss me off when I'll be playing against other people.
Biggest changes to gameplay this year was the revamped hit stick. Now, obviously, we got the boom tech, we got the tackling, the ball carrier stuff, and all of that kind of plays into this along with the hit stick. Now, hit sticks are definitely still effective. They can cause fumbles. If you time them right, they can cause some hits. But
if you use them wisely, yes, they're really good.
Because now they are much harder to time, and with the new ball carrier system,
and I love the little time meter thing that they have, like the early and like the perfect and stuff.
Previous Madden games, of course, they have always kind of adjusted the hit stick a little bit. Some years it was as easy as ever to do, and then other years they made the timing window a little bit harder. But we've never seen as much of a change as we've seen this year. The timing is significantly harder than it used to be, and especially if you're using a player that doesn't have high hit power. If you do have high hit power, your timing window is a little bit easier. But again, in the past, you could pretty much
EA just got 5 more special points in my playbook.
Pretty good success. Now, if you want to hit stick, the angle is very important. The player you're using and the player you're trying to hit stick
way more realistic.
Timing is critical. If you're trying to do like these side hit sticks or angled hit sticks and you don't have an elite player, the ball carrier is going to bounce off of you this year and you're going to give up bigger yards. If you mistime it even by the slightest little bit, they're going to break the tackle or you're going to miss completely.
Debo. It is kind of weird seeing him in #1 though. It looks fire though.
Secure tackles, more wrap-up style tackles, instead of trying to hit stick too often, because you're going to give up a lot more yards this year, I believe, if you try to hit stick every play, unless you're just an elite player. Number 5, you can't play the same old way. Now, this is a really important...
What? Come on now. He's speaking to the choir today. He's speaking, it ain't even Sunday. He already speaking.
Way. This is going to be somewhat dependent on who you're playing. But what I mean by this is we've gotten a whole suite of new gameplay features that are completely changing how this game is going to be played. Let's talk about the first example. If you want to just throw...
And Eric has played this, by the way,
and spam the same blitz
early. So he knows this.
Unless you're a really good player and you know how to maneuver around the game and manipulate things, sure, those people exist.
This feature right here, it was like one of my favorites to see.
Blitz out there and just spam it every play. Well, we have a lot of new ways to block that this year. They've updated the blocking and they've given us more ways to slide and adjust our lines, making it easier to combat some of these blitzes that people like to just spam over and over. Another example of not being able to play the same old way. If you play someone that spams corner routes or crossing routes every year, sure, EA has tried to help us combat this over the years by giving us things like zone drops, but this year they gave us the biggest new feature in a long time, which is the...
I ain't gonna lie to you, I did used to abuse the
see the
crossing
corner
routes was
right in
like
front coming open,
my
you
favorite
can
routes of
switch stick
franchise
up
mode.
to the nearest defender and begin breaking on the ball right before your opponent goes to throw it. So by the time your opponent releases the ball, you're already over there and you're bringing that cornerback or that safety down, and you're breaking on the ball and you're able to make
I've
extra
heard
plays. And old
I've
games,
had
you
heard
know, the computer
mixed
didn't always
reactions
quite
to
break on it in time,
this in
and you
college
have to draw up a
football.
play to defend that corner.
Some
So
people say it's
these
hard.
routes
Some
that
people
end
is
the
like
same
this the
route or
best thing
sideline
ever.
replay, if you're playing a good or very good player this year, they're going to switch stick over there and they're going to pick that off every time. So you're going to have to be more intentional and more thoughtful about what you're doing on the field. And on the flip side of the ball, you can now adjust your route stems to any depth. So if you're playing someone that sets their zone drops every play and just wants to drop them really far back, well, you can now send your routes even deeper if you want to combat that. So there's never been more of a chess match than what Madden 25 is going to be, because there's a whole bunch of new gameplay features that allow both sides to switch things up. Now, if you want to know all of the gameplay details,
Man, those last two was preaching right here to my heart right there. The hit stick and doing the same play, but how much you want to bet there's still gonna be people on YouTube, you know who you are, playing the exact same way and then going online and complaining that Madden is the same every year. You're playing the game, it like what? That's like saying all I eat is cookies every day, and then you go outside with one of your friends and you don't get a cookie, and now you're like, oh my goodness, what, you're not eating the cookie? What's wrong with you? See what I'm saying? That might have been a bad example, but hopefully y'all understand what I mean. Like, I know I'm not the only one out here that's just like, bruh, stop spamming the hit stick and stop running the same three fucking plays, bro. Like, try something different for once. You know what I mean? Sorry about that little rant, but it's just you know who you are. You damn sure know who you are, and I bet you got a friend. If you not that one, you have a friend that's that one. But that is gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy this reaction. Love you guys. See you guys in the next one.